The pitch on the way, a swing and a belt. Left field, way back. Blue Jays win it. The Blue Jays are World Series champions as Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Baseball, like no other sport, nourishes itself by feeding off its rich tradition. Like Bill Mazeroski and Ralph Terry, like Ralph Branca and Bobby Thompson, Mitch Williams and Joe Carter will forever be entwined for what took place here at Sky Dome on that October 23rd night. Like opposite ends of a coin, one winner, one loser, one pitch, one swing, and countless years of explanation.
I knew something big was going to happen. I told my wife, Diana, I gave her a kiss goodbye. I said, something big's going to happen tonight, something good.
We heard all year what a bad bunch of guys we were. We had long hair, we had beards. Well, our team fought and struggled and did what they had to do in this series to win the series. And the bottom line is I let us down in big situations.
I was answering the same thing over and over again. It just got to a point where, does everybody got what they need? I'm ready to get out of here and go drink a beer. And they didn't have a big enough beer in Toronto that night, let me tell you.
Apart from becoming an overnight national hero to Canada, the home run allowed Joe Carter to fly home to Kansas City a day early, where his wife Diana, 3 children, Kia, Ebony, and Jordan, could share the joy of the moment together.
We were watching the game with our cousins over our grandparents' house because my parents were in Toronto, and I heard my grandma shouting in the kitchen. And I looked up and I saw my dad leaping around the bases, and my cousins were up. They got up and they started screaming, and my sister started crying, and everybody was just jumping up and down.
Mitch Williams, on the other hand, was the only member of the Phillies not to make the flight back to the city of brotherly love. Instead, he and his fiancée Irene and her son Damon went straight to Hico, Texas, home of Billy the Kid. Until several weeks ago, Mitch's phone number was actually listed in the Hico directory, but not anymore. This remote ranch seems to offer ample refuge from the angry thunder of fans, but the media found him anyway. Are you amazed, though, all the attention when you get New York Times, ABC, ESPN, Philadelphia Inquirer?
Yeah, like I said earlier, if I'd have struck him out or something, there would have been nothing said. I could have come down here and had a peaceful winter.
Time and life out on the 3-2 ranch have helped ease the trauma for Mitch, but the question still remains. Will the aftermath of losing such a big game forever haunt his life, not to mention his career? Why do you feel you could handle this better than anybody else?
That's my job. I'm a hero or a goat every night I walk out there. There's no in between. There's no, oh, well, he was pretty good. It's either you're good or you stink. And I've been a long time dealing with that role.
Still, fans remember it wasn't so long ago. In 1989, when former California Angels relief ace Donnie Moore committed suicide, 3 years after failing to save the American League Championship Series against Boston.
I think Donnie Moore had problems in his life, but I don't think for 1 minute that a baseball game is, the winning or losing of a baseball game is going to force somebody to commit suicide. I can't see it. I mean, I ain't killing myself. Somebody have to do that for me.
And what about Joe Carter, who's now constructing a new dream house for his family? What has changed in his life?
Montana lives around the other way.
Now I see everybody turning around and saying, wow, there's Joe Carter, there's Joe Carter. You know, all because of a home run in the World Series that everybody happened to be watching. And the first thing I said was, there goes all my privacy. You know, so now my kids, they get a few baseballs that everybody wants to bring home from school for me to sign. I become everybody's Christmas presents.
Back out on the 3-2 ranch, Mitch finds more than enough outlets to release frustrations. But you can't help but wonder whether he'll be able to let go of the pain of this loss.
I was sitting there rubbing his back on, just let it out, you know, just let it go. And he just, you know, his eyes were full, but he couldn't cry. I don't know why.
When I got on that plane, it was done for. That was it. Until all these other people started wanting to talk about it again, and then yeah, I think it's my obligation to talk about it.
Joe Carter, on the other hand, clearly did not feel obligated to talk to anyone. Short of an appearance on the Arsenio Hall show, our talk with him was part of a pretty short off-season list.
They wanted me on the Tonight Show, Jay Leno. I didn't do that. My agent has called almost every single day. An agent wanted to, market me the next 3 months here in Hollywood. And I know it would not be fair to my wife, to my kids, if I'm gone throughout the whole season and constantly on the road. They wouldn't realize they had a dad.
Phil Donahue call you?
No, I didn't talk with any of the talk show hosts. Oprah didn't call. I was pretty hurt by that.
Yeah, you feel sorry for Mitch in a sense that all the death threats he's gotten, how serious people are really taking this game. You can't take this game this serious.
At least Mitch won't have to worry about seeing that home run ball in the Hall of Fame. It's because Joe let them have his bat, but gave the ball to his wife, Diana.
Yeah, I have it all right here wrapped into this little ball with, 108 stitches.
Would you want to see that baseball?
No, I saw it. I saw it in flight. That's enough. That's all I need to see of it. Tell Joe my bat got taken to the Hall of Fame this year, too, so it's a big deal.
So if Mitch was sitting here right now, what would be the first thing you would say to him?
First of all, I'll tell him thanks for the fastball inside.
What would you say to Joe if he sat here?
You're welcome.
Several weeks after the World Series was completed, everyone on the Phillies was in Philadelphia celebrating their tremendous season. Everyone except for Mitch Williams, who, it was assumed, was again shying away.
I didn't know there was one. I had no idea there was a parade. No one called me and told me there was a parade. I'd have gone.
In fact, none of his former teammates had called him at all, and he has only spoken to his catcher, Darren Dalton.
I talked to him, I guess, the day of the parade. One of the trainers called me, said Darren was there and he wanted to talk to me, so I talked to him, but everything's the same with my teammates as far as I know.
But maybe not quite the same, at least in light of recent comments made on a New York radio station, WFAN, by Philadelphia series hero Lenny Dykstra prior to Mitch being traded.
He didn't even go back to Philly with the team.
But, he's still got a lot of good baseball left in him, but I think it's better off for everybody involved that he, closes game somewhere else.
On December 2nd, Mitch Williams was traded to the Houston Astros. 10 days prior to that, Mitch shared his feelings with us on the possibility of leaving the Phillies.
If they traded me because they wanted to trade me and they didn't want me a part of their organization anymore, that's fine. But if they were trading me because they didn't feel I could pitch in Philadelphia anymore because of this, they're wrong.
If it wasn't for Mitch, they probably wouldn't have even been in the World Series. They'll forget about the 43 saves, or they save, and for them to clinch the title against one of the best teams in baseball, the Atlanta Braves. I mean, they'll forget about that. They'll just remember him giving up the home run in the World Series that cost him the World Series. And, you win as a team and you lose as a team.
Nevertheless, baseball fans are likely to remember the 1993 Fall Classic is coming down to two guys. One pitch, one swing, one winner, one loser. Joe Carter is certain to be remembered as the guy who knew the sheer joy of victory like few could ever dream.
If I can't sleep at night, I'll sit back and put the tape on and see myself jumping up and realize what I did. These are dreams that you dream about, that you think about in the World Series. And all of a sudden, it's come true for me.
And Mitch Williams must continue to carry the burden of the guy who lost the biggest game of his life.
Everyone says you win as a team, you lose as a team. That's true. During the course of a season, you win as a team, you lose as a team. My team didn't lose that World Series. I lost Game 6 of that World Series.
And when you both look at it, I consider us both winners and not losers.
Are you still a winner?
Yeah, I'm dang right I'm a winner. I've lost, but you tell me some winners that haven't lost. I don't think you can deal with winning unless you've had to deal with losing. And people, I've dealt with it now in a big way.